welcome you to the Global Share Your Stories Marketing Grant Awards and Networking event. I'm Trish Tonai, founder and host for the series, and we look forward to introducing you to each other in the global small business owners in our community who celebrate their great ideas. Today, we're going to meet our 5 marketing grant finalists. We'll hear from our keynote speaker, Hirsch Rapune, on building a brand and selling the truth. We'll give you an opportunity to introduce you and your business in breakout sessions and become an active participant in the Q&A. And at the end of the event, we'll invite you to share a video testimonial on today's experience. To begin, I'd like to share a few statistics that we've uncovered, and I'm always surprised with the numbers. Did you know that there are approximately 582 million entrepreneurs around the world? Men are twice as likely to start a business due to funding, and 82% of female businesses are solopreneurs. The number one barrier for startups, expansion, and innovation is still funding, which brings us to today's event. After a lively brainstorm session with our volunteer advisory board, we decided to start a grant program using the tagline, Funding for Entrepreneurs by Entrepreneurs, to support small business owners with seed money for marketing. 2 $2,500 US grants that will at the very least contribute to being seen, heard, found, and hired. Our advisory board, sponsors, mentors, and judges have all contributed to the effort, and without their support, along with your trusted referrals, none of this would be possible. In our own small way, we're trying to change the dynamic and create new opportunities for visibility, collaboration, and building connections in each community. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for believing in mentorship and breaking barriers to success. We currently feature businesses on 5 continents, and our podcast, Business Mentorship Keeping It Real, has over 212 episodes introducing the person behind the logo. 76% of the stories are from female entrepreneurs, 60 are in the service sector, and 97% of the individuals we feature are corporate leaders who have taken the leap to business owner and celebrate their great ideas. This year, through the grant program, we received many amazing applications from business owners around the world, each of whom received the mastermind video, The Art of Standing Out Without Bragging, sponsored by Alexis Gladstone, and 10 marketing tips from our sponsors. Each of the 5 finalists also received a 10-module mastermind series, Breaking Barriers to Success, along with informal mentorship from within the Share Your Stories community. In alphabetical order, by business name, I'm going to introduce you to each of our 5 finalists. Heather Brackelmans joins us from Zora, Ontario. Kamlavi DeJoro is from Gatineau, Quebec. Leah Greenbloom is from Chicago, Illinois. Marian Egan is from Kilbride, Ireland. And Taryn White is from Paris, Ontario. So I'd like to thank our sponsors, judges, and formal mentors for all your support thus far. Each of the finalists will be in a breakout room, introduce their business, and give you an opportunity to ask questions. But right now, I would like to introduce you to our keynote speaker, who is Hirsch Rapune, and he's going to talk about building a brand and selling the truth. Hirsch joins us from Iowa City, Iowa. Hirsch is a master communicator, publicist, screenwriter, stand-up comedian, brand strategist, and author known as the Message Therapist. He helps business owners reach their new brand voice and joins us today to share a few tips for us as small business owners. Hirsch?
Hi, I'm Hirsch Rapune, and welcome to my keynote address, Building a Brand and Selling the Truth. I'm really excited to be here. I want to, first of all, thank Trish for inviting me. Grant Award and networking ceremony, and I've been listening to a lot of and watching a lot of Share Your Stories episodes and posts, and I think the voices are so unique, which really speaks to the topic at hand. I deal with brand voice for a living, so it's kind of my area of interest to listen to people tell their stories, and in some cases guide them in the telling of their stories, which is what I'm going to share with you a little about here. Before we dive in, I want to answer a question that comes up quite a bit for me, which is, what is a personal brand? People will say, is it a brand that's named after you, that uses your personal name? Well, to some extent, and yes, sometimes. But what I really think a personal brand is the big picture. It's who you are in the big picture, both personally and professionally. You know, when we're at a networking event or an event such as this, and somebody says, "Hey, what do you do?" Sometimes that can give us a little bit of pause. We're like, well, you know, and it's a deceptively complex answer to a very simple question: what do you do? But what your personal brand does is it captures the essence of who you are and what your mission is in this world. It's the big picture. And in a crowded marketplace where there are more platforms than ever from which to broadcast our message, and more people than ever broadcasting their message. At the same time, it's more important than ever that our message literally be incomparable. A personal brand really is one of the most potent arrows in your quiver, so to speak. It can shape your professional identity. It can influence how others perceive you. In today's competitive landscape, having a strong personal brand is essential for rising above the sea of sameness that's out there, building credibility, establishing a network that can propel your career forward. So today we're going to discuss building a brand and selling the truth. They really do go hand in hand. I named my new book Selling the Truth because ultimately in this crazy, competitive, chaotic world, the truth is all we really have to sell. Now, the timing is pretty good for this talk. The pandemic that we went through a few years ago forced many of us to think long and hard about our careers, about what we want, what we were best at, what do we want to do. And so we've seen in the years since a lot of rebranding, a lot of new brands on the scene, a really heightened level of entrepreneurship. Um, I think that there are a number of different places that you could be at on your journey. You could have been in the C-suite and now you're stepping out as a consultant. You could be rebranding yourself as an expert. You might want to distinguish your personal brand from the company brand, and maybe your focus is social action, or you're seeking to crack the next level of business. In each case, you want to empower your personal brand to help you accomplish it. And that leads us to the first takeaway from my talk, which is that you should have a brand voice guide. A brand voice guide is like a style guide that any brand has, but instead of it being visual, there are two core elements to the brand voice guide: vocabulary and strategy. And vocabulary and message has to do with, as you might imagine, the words we use to communicate who we are. um, the strategy piece is what I call a brand ecosystem, because it's where you hang your shingle. In the old West in Deadwood, you had a barbershop, you had a shingle, and that was pretty much it. Maybe your cousin in Atlanta also had a barbershop, and maybe people knew the two cousins, but really there wasn't any other place to lay out your message. Now we have a whole ecosystem that our message lives in. Pretty tied to selling the truth is AI. I write about this in the book. We live in a world where we're divorcing ourselves from the very thing that makes us human, which is our ability to connect with one another. And it's something we should examine. It's a form of outreach, and it can get great results and get conversations started, but it could also piss people off and make them very untrusting. And so I've determined that declared AI is, where a bot kind of declares that they work for you and they're not real. That's maybe the best form of selling the truth if we really want to do that. I think we need to establish a new paradigm for selling the truth. And the simplest way to do that, I think, is to start small. Start sharing personal truths. Start sharing your core values in a way that a corporate brand cannot. For big corporations, logos are great because wherever you see the golden arches, you can get pretty much the same Egg McMuffin. But for small businesses or for a personal brand, you don't need to spend so much time hiding behind the logo. Instead, try inviting the client inside the logo. While we may all appreciate the value of selling the truth, we also have to ask ourselves, why are we selling the truth? What's our purpose? And that leads me to this second takeaway today, which is the next figure goal. On my Yes Brand podcast, I have interviewed 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs, and more and more, we started talking about next figure goals being something other than money. And your next figure goal may be you're writing a emotional learning book series for children, and you want to reach 1 million school children. That's a figure. In creating and refining your personal brand, it's worth exploring and communicating what the next figure goal is for you. This is a good opportunity to touch on the give back phase. Some of us are pivoting into new roles, and that role may be tied to a passion or a mission or philanthropy overall. Most of us are engaged in for-profit enterprises, but where mission-driven and purpose-driven were kind of the catchword of the day a few years ago, now they're the norm. I mean, especially among people who pay a lot of attention to their personal brand. I don't plan to retire anytime soon. I have 5 kids, so I don't really know that retirement is ever in the cards. But I do expect that after 30 years in business, I should be giving something back. And even whether it's my time or energy or sharing my expertise or mentoring others, I should point out that mentoring others in the building of their brands is not a one-sided endeavor. As with all relationship building, those we help today will most likely speak well of us, and third-party validation is one of the most important elements of your personal brand. It's much easier to enter a room when people already know who you are. And one of the best ways to do that is social proof, testimonials, case studies, things like that. More often than not, video is preferred these days, or just excellent word of mouth. Third-party validation is a great cycle to be a part of. And speaking of cycles, the third and final takeaway I want to share with you is the feedback loop. This is something that's been incredibly valuable to me, especially because as someone who works in branding and messaging, I often say, there's a reason we don't do our own hair. That's because we can't see the back of our own head. Well, as great as I may be, I hope I'm good at helping people with their messaging and their strategy and vocabulary. I don't necessarily know how I'm perceived at a given moment. And it helps to have a really strong feedback loop. In my case, it's a group of 5 or 6 people. We meet once or twice a week, and we can talk about anything with one another. We can be very blunt and honest about our latest ventures, posts, treatises, and so forth, and just get feedback on what we're doing. And I think with that great feedback, we should remain as honest as we can with ourselves. There's a chapter in Selling the Truth that is called A Lie is a Wish Your Heart Makes, because we often tell ourselves little white lies to make ourselves feel better, and our personal brand needs to avoid that pitfall. I'll close with a quote from Louisa Zhao, a very successful coach who's working with new entrepreneurs in particular, and she says, sales is a mirror. Meaning if there's guilt or desperation or anything else attached to what we put out to a prospective client, they're going to project those same doubts and concerns and hesitations about buying. It's just going to be reflected right back upon us. And that's why if we want to make more sales, if we want to get our message across, if we want our personal brand to work for us, the most important piece isn't what we say or do. It's what we feel about ourselves, because all those scripts and strategies all work just fine as long as you feel truly confident in the integrity of your brand. You'll be okay. And that's when you'll be able to sell the truth.
Throughout today's event, we're going to share a short video from each of our finalists where they'll give you an overview of their business along with a few highlights for the next 12 months.
2 Steps Ahead Consulting, we're here to help customers get real about their brand's journey, coming all the way from the story of how your company starts to connecting with your customer about what really matters. Not only do we do that with a passion for creating something that's real and strategic, we enjoy bringing something to life, something that's just a concept in our customers' minds. Really enjoy being extremely transparent with our customers about whether things are a good idea and what's theirs, making sure that they own every piece of what they've worked so hard towards. Team has a lot planned for the next year. Not only has the last couple just given us a boost, but we are looking to pick up momentum. And part of what we're looking towards doing is growing the pieces of our business that help our customers really expand their strategy by formulating the last of our secret internal processes, the ones that help us just be rock stars. And that takes time and takes a little bit of extra effort from people like me and the rest of our leadership team. We're looking
My name is Kamlavi Dojo, founder and CEO of DojiV. At DojiV, we're revolutionizing your daily cup of coffee into a specialty adaptogenic functional mushroom coffee mix without any caffeine issues. We're passionate about sharing the healing power of functional mushroom with the world. Our passion started as I was trying to help my spouse overcome health issues. We've seen our own positive result. We decided to help others. In the next 12 months, we will be focusing on growing DojiV's impact and reach by exhibiting at the consumer trade shows across the country and to connect with more fan and share the healing power of functional mushroom with the rest of the world. And we will be organizing in-store demos. We're also launching new products, new innovation, and we're going to be developing fresh new marketing strategy.
Jewish Free Loan Chicago, or JFLC, is a nonprofit, and our mission is to aid and empower lower-income Chicagoans to overcome financial struggles and achieve financial goals through zero-interest loans. I started this organization in 2022 because I saw a gap. There wasn't a Jewish free loan. In fact, there wasn't any organization offering zero-interest loans throughout Chicago. Has a lot of exciting plans and goals for the next 12 months. Two of our goals are to increase our board of directors from 9 directors to 12. And another goal is to increase the number of loans we're making from 80 loans a year to over 120. Thanks.
I provide solutions to physical, emotional, and mental pain. For the past 30 plus years as a holistic health practitioner, I have helped hundreds to transform their health and well-being, for which I'm very grateful. My clinical practice, Transformation Health, transitioned to online during COVID. I empower people to heal themselves using tips and techniques that I'm qualified in. I'm an author, an artist, and creator, and I created my own modality of self-healing, which is very unique, very personal, and works very well.
Hi, I'm Taryn White, the founder of the Taryn White Gallery. My passion is helping artists to succeed in their businesses through my online gallery and through our artist memberships. I promote artwork to wider audiences and provide resources to artists to help them to grow their business. My mission is to empower artists with the tools, exposure, and guidance they need. Over the next 12 months, my goal is to execute a strategic marketing campaign to connect more artists with these resources.
You've had the opportunity to ask questions and connect with each other in breakout sessions. Now it's time to share our 2 grant recipients. Each winner not only receives $2,500 US towards their marketing plan, but 12 months of formal mentorship with entrepreneurs from the Share Your Stories community, who each have a different topic of support and will meet monthly throughout 2025. They'll also receive a mastermind workshop, Write a Book and Change Your World, sponsored by Susan Crossman. So the total awards package is each worth over $6,000 US. So we're pretty thankful for all of the folks who have contributed to the actual package that each of our finalists will be giving. So this is where I'd like everyone to unmute and to share the drum roll, please, because we're going to announce our 2 winners. Oh, please, here we go. I am pleased to announce our 2 winners in this Share Your Stories marketing grant for 2024-2025 are Marian Egan from Transformational Health from Kildare, Ireland, and Taryn White from the Taryn White Gallery in Paris, Ontario. Thank you so much. We really totally appreciate everybody's participation, and the 5 finalists. It's been a real pleasure to get to know each and every one of you. Thank everyone in this community for your continued support. To our keynote speaker, our finalists, our advisory board, our sponsors, mentors, judges, and producer, a special thanks for joining us for today's event. And to everyone in this community who continues to provide trusted referrals, my heartfelt thanks. I'd also like to thank you for participating in our first Global Share Your Stories Marketing Grant Awards and Networking event. We wish each and every one of you continued success. And as we approach the holidays, I'd like to extend to you and your families health and happiness, peace and prosperity in 2025.
Hello everyone, my name is China Morgan. I'm the founder of Bitlo, and I was one of the in-kind sponsors for this award ceremony. First of all, this event was flawless, it was seamless. One of the things that I really loved about the ceremony was the breakout rooms, because you're really able to meet people, connect, and understand what's happening in this ecosystem. So thank you, Trish, for putting on it.
What I loved about the award ceremony member of the SYS community, a member of the board, and a sponsor. I too was proud of seeing women entrepreneurs getting a scholarship to help them grow.
Thank you so much for the invite to participate in your amazing awards ceremony. My favorite part really was how you laid out the whole program so everybody was involved. We had lots of learning, and for all of the finalists, we really got to know about them and to learn more about their products.
Hello everyone, I'm Lynn McLaughlin. It was my honor and my pleasure to be part of the journey for the Share Your Stories Grant Awards. This ceremony last week was absolutely incredible. We got to meet fellow entrepreneurs. I happen to be one of the sponsors for this global award because I believe in it so firmly. When we went into breakout rooms and met other people, we always learn from and with each other. It's such a powerful tool. Not to mention the guest speaker, Hirsch, where, after we listened to him speaking, we went into our breakout rooms and talked about our own branding.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Verway from Spoken Lives. It's been so rewarding to be a part of the Share Your Stories online community. I hope you can join us there. You'll meet people from all over the world. We've been raising some marketing funds for other entrepreneurs. That's been so satisfying. I'd love to meet you there.